in it, and currently it's upside down on our monitor, but we can make out a fair amount of detail. Tranquility Base, this is Houston. Could we get both of you on the camera for a minute, please?
I think we're going to have an announcement here. I wanted both of them in the field of view.
Roger, we'd like to get both of you in the field of view of the camera for a minute.
Y'all climb, I'll take the shuttle up. This rocket's towards the nebula. On board with the prophets and the messengers, withdrawn from the conscience of the regulars. I'm just a agoraphobic space cadet that hasn't had his head checked, that rides around in the space mobile, saying y'all haven't heard my best yet. And until I find my place to rest, I'm the insomniac with conscious rap. It's calm as facts. Ask around, don't Google who brought the promise back, cause only the streets gonna tell you the real about the psychosis of the compulsive locomotive poet, the forced explosive, claustrophobic astronaut that used to rock a flat top. Star Trek from Tibet, NASA Project Magnabot, head like a gigantic radio, back more knobs than the military watch. From the Martians to Earth, I was a gift. I arrived in a glass box, then ran into the jungle like a Sasquatch. When it came to blackness, Africa is my mascot. But really, this album is a reflection of things we take light, how to make it right. Like, I hope you had a good night rest, or have a safe flight. Balloons at the delivery room, or that feeling you get when someone says, I'll be there soon. In my life, you're the most important. I love you, or you're simply gorgeous. Or they just say, just stay, or just have a nice day. Have a nice day. Have a nice day. Have a nice day.
T-minus 15 seconds. Guidance is internal. 12, 11, 10, 9. Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So I'm off in this tin can. Companies endorse me to wear their brand. Looking through the window at the waving hands. It's from the gods and millions of fans.
The President of the United States is in his office now and would like to say a few words to you. Over. Go ahead, Mr. President. This is Houston out.
I'm talking to you by telephone from the Oval Room at the White House. And this certainly has to be the most historic telephone call ever made from the White House. I just can't tell you how proud we all are of what you have done. For every American, this has to be the proudest day of our lives. And for people all over the world, I am sure that they too join with Americans in recognizing what an immense feat this is. Because of what you have done, the heavens have become a part of man's world. And as you talk to us from the Sea of Tranquility, it inspires us to redouble our efforts to bring peace and tranquility to earth.
I am the memory of centuries. I am the winter trees. I am the mystery. I am the hidden history. I am a living and the living epiphany. I am a soft prayer and I am witchery. The way to my sarcophagus, I am trickery. Unearth me and curse thee. Only those that I find worthy will I give mercy. Other than that, the air will become murky. Your food will become mercury. For all the nations have committed perjury. Urgency, state of emergency. But personally, my well is only for the thirsty. If you excite the dead, there's spider webs. You feel light in the head. The manna from heaven is called tiger's breath, dragon breath, planet X, before and after Adam's death. disintegrate Esau till there's only atoms left.
I love those mornings.
In my immortal sunshine, the water become wine, the clouds will come by. During the flood time, check my bloodline. Descended the fourth kind of Malachi York mine. I walk to talk rhymes. Never force lines, unknown sauce fine. Pure thought, like a chief on the sauce ride. The Levites were the priests of the lost tribe. The key to life is to teach and exalt Yah. The Edomites is the beast, the all eye. Seeing, reason with the demon. His eyes is gleaming. In the pyramid scheming. From the Europeans, the great seal. Observe before you break your bill. They started banks, but Rockefellers couldn't take a mill. How I feel. Summer came, now it's gone. Autumn rain, now it's storms. September, less timber. October, November. Cold enters. December, deep winters. January, new plans in hurry. It's February, feds are scary. Tax receipt, cash deplete. Backtrack last week. Calming folks, pro athletes, corporate elites. Dog parks, March, April, showers. Rainbow flowers. May, June, last days of school. They ain't cool. July, fruit flies. August, invisible garden, nocturnal forest. Came back around my eternal conscience. Bipolar flowers, insects, infect, trees are solar powered. Sacred natives in the medicine circle. While I cheat painted on the shell of a turtle. Little runner deer, hunted the hare. Sneak behind it slowly, chugging a spear. Young rabbits unaware once the summer is near. These are hallucinogenic frontiers. Only mystics come here. Sunlight shimmers in the rivers. The salmon's lunch for the bear. Broken terrains of cliffs, outcrops and ravines. Streams filled with fish. Quiet nights, quiet light. There's movement, the moon lit, the lagoon mist.
I know what the scarecrow is. It's like outer space in his inner ears. And like a blossom you opened up and understood why you could not love. Oh. It's so high.
Eresh Gagal, Mesopotamian child, goddess of the night, my wings in flight, Zechariah 5, verse 9. Then I lifted up my eyes and saw two women, new beginnings, wings like a stork, a queen with the courts, beaming your thoughts, charcoal activators, salt marsh, and fresh water, insect-filled backyards and wet mornings. My day is dawning. Yahweh is calling. Mother Namu, purple mantle, light the candles, ignite the sand dunes. What's unknown, for if I told you, it would never be shown.
I'll work my way over into them as soon as I can without looking directly into the sun.
The universe on my Polaroid, the greatness of all mankind, I'm overjoyed. For the wonderful you, the making of the incredible self, so good it had to create two. Thine inventions and spread love all over the globe, not only embodied, but wholly embodies the spirit and soul. The mystics withhold, but the pictures have told. From the source within thought, the scriptures of old, the walk through the parks, to the holding of hands, from kids drawn in the heart, to lovers rolling on the sand. Therefore prophesize against them, prophesize, O son of man. Y'all wanna be the goat, I'll be the wolf, dressed up in sheep clothing when it's time for hunting lamb. Last time I won a ram. The street was starving, the market of new artists from the projects was my hunger plan. 80s was the number man. Tina Marie Square Biz was my summer jam. God Body, Hard Rocks at black parties, y'all just don't understand. It was jackets by farmers or leather bombers or boots with the lumber brand. If you were Spanish or Italian, it was Far Rockaway or Coney Island if you want a tan. The beach was the holy water, the New Yorker, Rich Porter, Robert Walker, Latin Quarters, Manhattan lawyers, Staten right across the water, shooters and snorters, Brooklyn fiends, Bronx Queens, beans by Goya. I used to dream I was the voyager and beam beyond the borders. Rap was my hypnosis. I noticed my lids closing, then opening, moment flowing. I'm going, then finally gone. Feeling myself coming back when I yawn. Reciting the book of Psalms, practicing the Tibetan burning palm. Black dragon fist, Hiram Abith, I am the myth, the labyrinth. Black man from Nazareth, and planet wrist. Sacred land of Atlantis, once my hands on the canvas. It's like ancient Sanskrit, then I vanish. Control the planets.
So say now. What's the word of the renown?
Render your opponent helpless and at your mercy. The elders of eternity, the welders of Mercury. In my father's shelter, there's many universities. Within the potter's cellar, there's plenty of nurseries. Time is not to waste, and don't be an astronaut to take up space. And never interrupt your enemy while he's making a mistake, because volatile words is like a double-edged sword. And victory is when your opponent surrender on his own accord. Just like the proverbs of the sovereign Viking, it's best to win a war without fighting, and it's better to read a person's thoughts without writing. Can you feel the force without trying? Can you heal from loss without crying? As I reveal the quartz transport from the Mayans. Interview within myself, have a talk like O'Brien. Pull up a chair, sit down, and open up about the Orion and the system of the stars with bars I'm reciting. But I'd rather talk about the makings of us. Love, bouquet of flowers, summer showers, and winter's cusp. Spring coming and going, and autumn winds. Lunch with friends, watching a bird bath with a sparrow cleanse. A heart-shaped box covered with opal, jasper, and beryl gems. It's all coming into view. I'm comfortable when I'm talking about
The wonderful you.
Drizzling rain down my window pane. Up the block was the park and the subway train. We party every Friday till Sunday came. Then it was church, go in my pocket, here's a bunch of change. This Sister Johnson giving her usual 100 range. She limped in, sat down after she hung up a cane. But my mom was on block parties and the summer games. As the choir sang to the organ, the drummer bang. The preachers had us baptized, but we backslide. Born black with pride, afros high as the Jackson 5. Life here was no picket fence and apple pie. People relying on just enough cash to survive. Projects, the acronym we visualize. Project, where drug dealers and criminals hide. The object, to keep us minimized. The process, remove fathers from mothers and children's lives. I know a blood who's sick, but can't see the word crip in the word prescription. I know a crip with high blood pressure, too much assault, he committed. Now do we bang on each other, or do we bang on our symptoms? Too much processed beef, is it artificial sweet? We hypertension, the sickness, we need to fix it. Water to flush our system, keep us from the morgue and out they prison. Stay off the hog and the chitlins, hot fries, Popeyes. Where they getting all of these chickens? Turkey Jive, Five Guys is more of an addiction. From the place where our hopes and dreams try to fly like birds with broken wings. That's why we smoke herb for our dopamines. Melanated culture beans, celebrated with the host of kings. Projects, people relying on just enough cash to survive. That's why we stay high. Projects, we gaze at the sky. The project lives, try to get by. Quiet, I'm in music mood. I can take a rainbow, make a Rubik's Cube. Stare at it hard, heavy mental. Squeeze it till it fall from my palms as Skittles. Reach behind your ear and pull a nickel. It's coming very clear, I'm official. Wipe every tear with a tissue. Open it, there appears a crystal. Here is a souvenir you make a wish to. Alchemist, jewels appear, take a fistful. Mary had a little lamb whose fleece was white as coke. The child called a southern man was squeezed upon a boat. Shipped her to another land with priests and the popes. A language he couldn't understand, he could only quote. Promised him his freedom from Edom if he vote. Gave him books that they wrote till he mastered the occults. His eyes caught on fire, he said his schools are a joke. All the books acquired, Timbuktu was the most. Straight jacket in the white room. It went from calling him a coon to a tycoon. It's Sykes Doom. Sykes Doom. Color of thought. Color of thought. Black and Jill ran up the hill from Sodom and Gomorrah. Black held jail till they beamed in a flying saucer. 100 mummies all over the walls, 100 mummies under the floors with all the king's servants and all the king's men. But Alexander the Great couldn't paint them black again. Struck by a slow arrow, fallen king, drawing one of the old battles from the Benin. stuck in his bone marrow. Forgive us, queen, a long cry. The end of the song he saw his firstborn die. A storm rise, then calm skies. Sometimes fate takes the wrong guy. Nostradamus haunted by the ghost of Muhammad. Spoke to prophets or culture conflicts. Both were toxic. Sailing a boat or take a rocket. Versace Merkaba. Mansa Musa for Mali, Wally worshiper, smooth murderer, cool burglar, jewel interpreter. My anxiety attacks, keep my diary packed.
It's comfortable in the sense that there's no need to stand on ceremony. But there are no seats to sit down on either. I've heard much of you, Doctor. I have you. And that's the reason you're here. You've been an astronaut for 11 years. There's not a question, sir. It's an observation. Should you not have realized it, you've been the object of considerable observation for the past several months. I've been aware of some, Doctor. When the space agency put me on my project, they told me to keep in mind the scientific problems. And also to be aware.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
After I burn sage, I follow the mermaid through the worm cave. In the turn of an age, but I can't discern the days. I'm in the days, unconcerned in the phase. A stage as I follow her through this maze. Coming up out of the Ethereal waves where the filthy bathe, right below the Milky Ways. She turned and blanket me with a crook she made out of silk and suede. Suddenly I'm in middle grade, then staring into a mirror, gazing at a head that's fully braid. Face woolly with little grays. Then she took me through this underwater path, through these hills that she bathed. Then through a chilly haze over many graves. I felt silly, this felt really crazed. Underwater castles where the guards of an ancient city stayed. I felt trippy, I felt dizzy as misty. I felt that I have any legs. Is this astral projection or out-of-body experience? Or some kind of godly deliverance? Sorry, pardon my ignorance. But are we prohibited from star-sea remembrance? Cognitive dissonance. The Mars shows discipline. My bar shows the penmanship. Penmanship to brilliantness. Brilliantness to the wilderness. For a pilgrimage where the healing is. Found the electron plasma. Snatch a leaf from out of jasper. In disbelief, turn it to gold and close my palms. When I release it, turned into amber. I'm aboard a rocket ship where the chairs are detailed with chakra strips. Below us, the apocalypse. Before us, a metropolis. Her fabric must have been made out of magic. I wore it like a jacket. I felt like I was going backwards. This is madness. Then she opened up another tablet that gave me access to the address of the masters. I accept the journey like Paul on his way to Damascus, or like Jesus to Mount Olive. They both rode in on asses. So I'm doing alchemy, sitting beneath the olive tree. Now I'm standing on the balcony, studying astrology, wearing an orange robe, a white man bun, rocking mala beads. Enlightened being, a knighted king. My whole studio's made of crystal. I wear a cape, my mic is winged. Wordplay supreme. I follow the mermaid queen.
There seems to be no difficulty in moving around as we suspected, perhaps easier than the simulations of 16G that we performed in various simulations on the ground. I can see everything quite clearly. The light is sufficiently bright, backlighted into the front of the lens, that everything is very clearly visible.
She told me many things, showed me another range, the lower and the upper planes, in the body or out of body, I can't explain. But I just couldn't understand something, the demands of this woman, a fish. What was her wish? Do we exist? I tried to resist, she insists, then we kiss. Then my mind would blink, this is it. It's more than just a void, the darkness, the process, the odd guess. Someone gets robbed, yes. I remember images, things I recollect. But to put in retrospect, I didn't wear a vest. And it's not the long sleep that comes when you succumb to the numb of the warm peace once on me. But now the fear's lifted, the cold is felt, the slipping away, mystic. Then you let go of self. The feeling was noted, then the body ghosted. So I descended to the underworld, to the house of shadows, in a canoe with a much younger girl. without a paddle, sailing down the river of no return. In the quiet and the darkness, through the mirror where souls sojourn. Aboard the digital airplane, turned slave, jeweled mermaid.
The mind functions. Time is distorted, jumbled, telescoped, accordion, but there is a sense of time even so. And I remember things. I remember the way it began. I remember the way it was in the beginning.
It's a matter of light. I know that sounds crazy to you. Eons away from discovering light travel.
Light?
Oh no, we can travel many times that speed. Very far of sea. Otherwise, the trip here would have taken about 1,000 years.
What if I were to tell you that according to a man who lived on our planet named Einstein, nothing can travel faster than the speed of light?
I would say that you've misread Einstein. May I call you Mark? You see, Mark, what Einstein actually said was that nothing can accelerate to the speed of light because its mass would become infinite. Einstein said nothing about entities already traveling at the speed of light or faster, at tachyon speeds. I detect a note of skepticism, Dr. Powell.
Oh, not at all. It's just that you speak English so well.
English isn't that difficult a language to learn. You should try speaking Hakso.
I started as the heretic, passing Mount Everest on my way to the nebulous. No food or beverages, so I can receive the messages. Like tornadoes spinning soundless in the boundless. I sit in darkness, listen to the silence. Dark fantasies, whispers of the mermaid. As the earth fades, I'm having nostalgic dreams of foothills in the countryside, palace for kings. Below is lakes, banks, rivers, foliage near streams. Mongolian queens, earrings, hair swing. Red deer courtship ceremony beneath mountain springs. Horsewhip races across the evergreen. Alluvium forest, Natufian fathers. Nutrient gardens, Nubian harvests. Along the river deltas sit the living elders. The sister helpers, winter cold. Pine cones, crystals, and limestones. I'm drifting through time zones. Breathtaking mountain backdrops. I am the black astronaut, staring through the eye of a barrel when it's cocked, then went up like an arrow shot, like a sparrow. Flying towards the sun, I wear shadow block. Killer priest OG lasts long, underwater seagrass lawns. High deserts, I see mass ponds. Birthday wishes, kisses, long walks through the ballpark. Birds chirps, dog barks. It's getting cloudy. Let's get home before dark. The storm starts. They're closing all the mall shops. Quick, let me run inside this Walmart and buy a Hallmark. It makes warm hearts like love songs and soft rock. Off top, the group Bread, 1970, Make It With You. Celebs, Playboy spreads, naked in pools. Then the Electric Boogaloo and the infectious Rubik's Cube. Then they brought back the groove of 1952. Eddie Jefferson's Moody's Mood. There I go, there I go, there I go, there I go. Pretty baby, you are the soul who snaps my control. I bear my soul, I'm aware of my role. So I'm writing rhymes like I'm preparing a scroll. Seductive weapons for romantic wars. I've watched rain suspended in space while planets fall. No church today, I'm at the Spring Street Cafe. Bread and truffle entrees. I'm sitting with the devil, we're both having espressos. He wore his favorite summer jacket, bright yellow. His legs crossed, attitude was quite mellow. He said, "Would you be so kind, dark fellow?" and hand me a marshmallow. We both chuckled. Then I asked, "May you do an interview with me?" He said, "I'd love to." I pulled out my recorder, press record. I said my name, the time, and the date. He said, let's just skip forward. He said, well, my name is Lucifer, I'm 5'8", I love to snowboard. I love quiet nights and going on dates, cafes, and going to local stores. He said, I also wrote books, The Origins of Rosicrucianism, Magic Rituals, Origins of God, Advanced Metaphysics, The Life of Killer Priest and Why He Left the Music Business, Brief History on Time Travel, Theology of Star Wars, Tarot Cards, Music Stars, and my inner peace and how I found happiness as the Dark Lord. Then he ordered tea with toast, butter, and basil. Just then, who walked in was a couple of angels. They ordered broccoli casserole, satisfying the soul. Stuffed zucchini, linguine, and a carrots Nicole. Do you want that sandwich or bowl? They handed him gold and said, I'll take a bowl. And please add some baked spinach. Then glanced at us, fake grinning. Nervously, I said, let's order some yams and pepper cups, wild rice, waters with lemons. Then one said, is that the son of the morning, the son of perdition? Then they all disappeared like some sort of magicians. As my waitress brought my order from back of the kitchen, startled, I looked around as she sat down the dishes. She said, you ordered a lot, but it looks delicious. I looked at her suspicious. She asked what? I said nothing, then started to smile and asked, what time do you finish? She said, I'm off in a minute. Then we talked with no limits. Then we walked off their premise into deep thought and dimensions. She morphed into a quartz. I became salt. Dynamic transition, intuition, caduceus. The serpents begin twisting. The brain released the liquid. The tongue begins to flicking, uncoiling, then hissing, putting ourselves in the presence to an almost claustrophobic degree, then withdraw completely, discard, then connect with the inner God, then put him in charge, deafened by the silence, but comfortable within the loudness. I back up into the branches of the olives, like the wonderland of Alice. To understand the knowledge, the Son of Man must balance. One hand demolished, the other hand was solid. It's all symbolic. The floors are polished, the doors no blockage. The walls are conscious, all pay homage, all aboard the rocket. Rocket.
I'm confused. Maybe you can explain it to me. How is it, being a visitor from space, that you look so much like me or anyone else from Earth?
Why is a soap bubble round?
Why is this round?
You know, for an educated person, Mark, you repeat things quite a bit. Are you aware of that? A soap bubble is round because it is the most energy-efficient configuration. Similarly, on your planet, I look like you. K-Pax, I look like a K-Paxian.
Oh. Why did you want to come to our planet?
Well, I've been here many times. But what brought me here first? I don't know. Pure curiosity, I guess. I've never been to a Class BA-3 planet.
Class BA-3?
Early stage of evolution.
These memoirs to Nimrod, Pocahontas chakra, culture shocker, supernova, Suma soldiers, mystic humans controlling cobras, the Vedas calm Al-Qaeda, foul nature, halal caterers, tarot paper.
Outdoor cafe matinee, beef get souffle. Shout out to Chief and Lupe. It's the season, get the obey. Backstabbers get OJs. Wow, that goes both ways. The 70 group on the Nicole way. Best song, Yellow by Coldplay. Through the ghetto, take the subway. It's fun through the weekend, but it's back on work on Monday, where half the jerks act funny. She wore half a skirt, called me dummy. That was the perk for the money. My Walkman on, listening to KTU. We played picks, Nike kicks was navy blue. Deja vu. Best friend had the day job too, till they pushed us both back to the graveyard crew. Some came in 12, maybe 2. Some needed a break from some smoke, some drink or some brew. It was break beats from disco, Calvin Coolers, Rulers, and Cisco. Lunch meat, Spam, Key, Vienna, and Crisco. Rock'em Sock'em, Operation, and Hungry Hungry Hippo. Now it's Black Messiahs, the Book of Jeremiah, Fire and Brimstone. God tapped the wires cause mine's connection is higher than his phone. I read the book of Obadiah in front of the Jim Crow, and the whole scroll of Elijah in the Valley of Dry Bones. I'm here to lead the rally till the flying saucers arrive home. Then go back out, then come back in and report like they're my drones.
Life is a test, may we quest the universe. Through my research, I felt the joy and the hurt. Occultic magic and mysticism. Prepare white gloves for the work. And the secrets of free thinkers is all up in the verse. Life is a test, may we quest the universe. Through my research, I felt the joy and the hurt. Occultic magic and mysticism. Prepare white gloves for the work. And the secrets of free thinkers is all up in the verse.
Memoirs of the demigods, onyx crystal champagne glasses out the Benny Bar. ODB, shimmy shimmy y'all, reminiscing of Perry's and back countries of black mummies. I love my Aunt Carrie and Cash Money, just for you crash dummies who act funny. Y'all all brats when hungry, this that magnetic, telekinetic ethnics. Atra Haces, cosmic spaceship epics, rebuilder of the starship wreckage. Deep Hiller, revealer of the hermetic message. Akashic records, project essence, goddess sevens. Astro projection if the tarots is present. My mom's is Aunt Helen, I thank her for her blessings. Emerald tablets of Thoth, general understanding of salt, minerals, planets, I am source. Above the diaspora of Africa, aboard a craft sits 143,999 passengers. I was the last of them. But in its true diameter, it can fit the whole population of Canada, alongside with half of Panama. We landed far in a place called the Atlantis Star. We deboarded, we see forests, we seen deep waters. Beneath the orbit's unbelievable gorgeous. It had diverse woodlands, ponds, lakes, and brooks, and caved inside of an amethyst cushions. Then appeared what looked like bushmen, coming from around these sort of old trees. The closer they came, the more their faces looked more and more holy. They approached me, pointed slowly to the well-developed ground that instantly became a mound. At the same time, their trees made this incredible sound. Their grass looked clear as glass, with shrub layers, citron rug prayers. Above was glaciers, around us was acres. And these people called themselves the saviors. Amongst their cliffs, crags, and rocky mountainsides, we the Anunnaki island guides. They said, well done, welcome. The floors is just 1 million miles up high, and you are standing on top of the sky. They said we'd take you up by standing on the telepad. It was hella fast, no craft, no path. We was just there in a flash. They said, welcome to our place. I saw Olmec face at the base, all the way to the dining area. It was filled with ruins and blueprints and diamonds they gave to Sumeria. They said, welcome to the nebula, where the impossible is regular. We're part of the Alpha and Omega blood line, and this is the house of the senators. Before the BC settlers, we are the pyramid creditors. We planted the cacao, but then they worship us as the cow, the fish and the fowl, the cat and the owl. They said we came to the crowd and ascended up in clouds. They printed us in the Tao and the Tao. Rebelled with the tribes in Kenya called the Mau Maus. All the natives in Virginia joined the powwow. Kosher food and halal. Black child along the Nile. The Yahweh trial. The UFO files, but you with us now. The place where isotope teleportation is allowed. Their profile was a Western old style. They had platinum hair with gold brows. They were robed down with no smiles. They moved like laser lights when you're trying to hold it still to a wall and all the lights is off. And while you hold the laser, you cough. They are the force. They turn disobeyers into a pillar of salt. And they have inventions still in the vault. It gets real as you thought. The alchemists, they turn still in the quartz. Inside the raindrops, they place in the leptons and the quarks. The Ethereal gods from the halls of the crystal quartz. The judges sit on the mothership that turn colors like a cuttlefish for those who discover it. We created the covenant. We are the higher government, the spiritual Republicans. The prophets were our publicists, and to open up their eyes and behold another disc. Shape, shining, flying object. 2 became 18 as the other split. And 18 became 40 after a couple more shifts. Then there sat a green shuttle in the mist. All of this, the air ruffled, but the sound had a muffled pitch. Then the craft on the lower and the upper switched. And their people was controlling it all by doing a subtle twitch. I mean, the brother was quick. It hovered and blip, 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 blip. I said, wait, are we going backwards or forwards? Eastern or western? Are we taking a northern or a southern trip? He said, in this place, it doesn't exist. Now zoom into the light on that mothership. Now zoom back out as you puffing a spliff. Getting the buzz from one hit. Frozen stiff with a blunt on your lip. And drugs in the dish. You at a reggae club with a chick. Rubbing her hips. You got nugs of that piff. I submit at the summit above the cliff of that which cometh. And that which goeth, no man knoweth the day nor the hour. Purple orbs empower me as I absorb the flower, and is all devoured. They as tall as towers. The fog, the showers, it may be possible, but it's too difficult. Always said by these beings called the doubters. It may be difficult, but it's possible. Always said by these beings called the routers. Then came these beings of kings and queens called the strouders, that wore a cloak of smoke and sparkles gleamed from their trousers. They spoke louder and more prouder, calling the other gods cowards, while the Elohim scoured. Was this from prescription over counter, or my visions of a close encounter?
Do you indeed think that there is life on other planets? Do you think there's life on other planets?
Oh, I don't know.
Would you like to think about it for a second?
No, not really.
Tell me, do you think there is life on other planets?
Well, I'm not quite sure, but I suppose there would be.
He seems definite.
Definitely.
How do you see this life and where?
Oh, I've seen a flying saucer.
You've seen one?
Yes, definitely. At Lane Cove.
When was this?
1953.
You don't think this is a figment of your imagination?
Several other people with me saw it.
You all had the same figment. What did it look like?
It was standing up there, still.
Just suspended in space?
With colours coming out of it.
Nice or inside?
It was around.
Do you think this was sent from another planet?
I really do. Well, where else would it come from?
Do you think there's life on other planets?
Oh, well, I wouldn't like to even discuss that.
Why not?
It's a debatable point, I suppose.
What do you think yourself? You must have an opinion.
Well, definitely not.
Not?
Not.
Well, what leads you to say that? Scientific investigation or?
Well, only working off the theory of the Bible. Well, there's only one world, isn't there? And
But you think that can stand up to present scientific investigation?
Oh, I think it could.
Do you think so?
I think
as far
it
as
could.
the universe goes.
Definitely so.
And a Hopi chief meet at Snowy Peak. Right below is Coyote Creek. That's near the dark side, is right near the upper and the lower east. They both slow to speak. One says, wait, hold your peace. We came here to hear the yogi teach. Then the chief spoke brief, said I brung with me my sister, Golden Geese. Along with her is her daughter, Lonely Sheep, my only niece. She rose to her feet. We are complete. For joy, the yogi leaped. His robe was neat. While the old woman rolled in need, squeezed and beat roti yeast for the ceremony feast. Well, tonight, the UFOs would meet. That's when he revealed that it's not really shaped like a wheel, but like a lotus leaf. And all of us are oldest trees, his palms together on folded knees. He calmed the weather with poetry. Our arms had feathers, unknowingly. He said since the ovaries, he'd been glowing, speaking vocally. Then it turned socially till he openly hid a twinkle in the eye in the moment he floated free. No man pursueth when the omens flee, we both agree. Howls from the wolf den, owls in the woodlands. Hours with the bushmen, showers over the brook, tend to the worms for bait, put the hooks in. Then throw it back into the lake, then wait. If the fish take, the line shakes, then we start cooking. The trees absorbs the toxic wind, then give off oxygen for the ox and the hen. To watch the rocks is zen. Cloudy summer days, right before and after storms. Forecast is warm, spring flowers, violets, bells, orchids, roses, summer softness. Marsh lagoons, dark side of the moon, late afternoon, wetlands, swamps. Bogs, fogs through the mogs, the singing dogs from New Guinea. It's misty and blue windy, a few pygmies, new city, 2 pennies on the third blue hue of the U in our verse, too pretty. Robotic to aquatic, to exotic tropics of the forest, to the rocket. Take off, space course. I wave, talking to the mic, engage. Days lost, the shuttle window pane begin to frost. Nebula registered, nah, we in a Andromeda. I hear sounds like a harmonica, wheels down, checking the monitor. I'm aware I'm the foreigner, but prepared like a popular philosopher. Study the stars like the astronomer. Bars a cinematographer, but the style is hitting like the apocrypha. It was written in steps like a choreographer. My core is in depth like a pure photographer. My nocturnal writing, first I analyze it, then I memorize it, then internalize it, then write my journal on the science, then speak it into a verbal alignment to take you on my vertical assignment to enjoy the personal enlightenment. My life is a transition. Something wonderful is unfolding within my writtens. Inside my space book, the Jesus, Jedi, the unknown, God's chromosome. Beautiful color tone, cover my bones. The sky color of red dye. Beneath the ascension solar system. From supernovas I roll into this existence. Unfolded, vibrated out of light. But icy shadows gave me my pigment. My flesh is tinted, opium scented. No religion, I wrote the sentence. I'm true and living. The summer ghost in a yellow coat. I watched the sky crack like an egg. The clouds spread out like the whites. The sun was the yolk. Liquid sunshine, wishful dreams. Mystic pastime, I fed the fish in the stream. That's where I met her. Meta netta, nets a meta. Before the ancestors came to get her. From a pillar of smoke she spoke. My humble posture stood by the willow oak. She said, killer, you woke, stay woke. We spoke all night till day broke. It's like I spoke to Gabriel. Or hundreds of angels. Standing at the top of the trail was a great horned owl. Storm clouds, then calm down. It's late afternoon in the woods where there's bears and wolves. It's rare, but oh yeah, without a care, I'm good. The freelancer in the flatlands. I need answers, don't tap dance. More enhanced black man in the daylight quarterling. We never seen the meadows in the marshlands. Ta-da, I make my art stand with a harp in hand. Imagination parades with a marching band. All started from rapping at park jams. It's funny. Sometimes I think it's all part of a plan. The ghetto never seen the evergreen. Long fields of rain over Perry's, open country, floating ferries.